Hello everyone, welcome back to X-Plane 11. My name's Mesuvius, and we're sitting here lined up on 27 left. We're going to get going in just a second, but I wanted to show you guys some stuff on the FMC. So that's the flight computer, basically. And I learned it yesterday, so you're going to have to just bear with me as I deal with it, because it can be tricky. And yeah, so let me get this autopilot set up real fast, just to something reasonable. That looks good. All right, so let's go and pull up the FMC here. So you can see it's data out. We're going to clear that. That doesn't matter. Then we're going to go to flight plan. Flight plan right here. This is going to show our origin, our destination. We're sitting right now in Philadelphia on the Philadelphia International. So as it's blinking, that means I can use the keyboard. So we're going to type in KPHL. And put that in origin, and then destination is going to be, we're going to Newark, so Kilo Echo Whiskey Romeo, and that's going to go in destination. And flight number here, we're just going to go Delta 116, flight number there. All right, so at this point, now we're going to start putting in specific waypoints to get there. So for example, if I go to 2 here, if I'm going to type in, it'll be I've already done this on SkyVector, which is a awesome program online where you can basically create your flight plan. It's fabulous. So we're at the Gulf Romeo India Bravo Lima, and we're going to put that into the 2 section here, and you can see it's going to go direct, which is what I want. I don't want to do all the special stuff yet, so I'm still learning all that. And then I'm going to type in the next one, which is Delta India Romeo Mike Yankee. I'm going to put into the 2 as well. Now you'll notice if I go over here to legs, you'll see both of them are here already. You also notice there's nothing here, but we'll get to that in a second. But what we're also going to do is we're going to do departure and approach. And we're not going to worry about the departure right now. We're just going to worry about the approach. And that means we're going to go over here. I'm going to select a runway. Now we're going to be flying basically north, so it would be nice if we could get a runway that's close to that heading. But I don't see ones. Looks like 22 is going to be the closest there. So we'll do ILS 22 right, or said left, sorry, 22 left. And says, trans Papa Alpha Tango Romeo November. Now I could put that in there, but I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to go ahead and execute that. Now what that means is go ahead. There's a discontinuity, which is fine. We can just click here and go boom, and there it fixes it. But you'll see here it automatically sets you up on a the correct path and everything to get you there using the correct thing. Here's where we're going to land. This is in case you miss it. All right, but this is where we're going to land here. So it's pretty self-explanatory. But okay, let's go ahead and go in the cruise here. This is where we're going to set our target speed. Let's say our target speed is going to be 290, and we're going to set that there. And our cruise altitude, we're going to go for just 10,000 today. All right, and we're going to execute that. Now, if we go back to legs, you'll see that it shows you, when you should descend and everything like that. So we know from Gulf Romeo in India Bravo Lima, we're going to descend approximately 2,500 feet to Delta India Romeo Mike Yankee, and then from there we're going to descend to 1,500 for our approach into Newark. All right, so that's pretty much it for just a really basic flight plan, and you can't really see it yet on here, but it's there, and you'll see it in a second. But yeah, so that's that. So we're gonna go pop that down. Now I'm gonna go ahead and activate the flight director on both of these, and we're gonna go ahead and arm the speed. All right, so what this means is when I'm actually take off, I'm going to go ahead and switch on the command here, and that's going to activate this autopilot, and we'll be good to go. So let's go ahead and set for takeoff, which means flaps 1. All right, and let's go ahead 1 second. All right, sorry about that. I had to adjust my seat. Okay, let's go ahead and start applying thrust here. Well, I had the parking brake on. Now, remember, I'm not a real pilot, and I'm just doing this as a kind of a example of using the FMC with the 737 default, and you know, doing a simple flight here. Don't expect everything. Again, I am learning. It's like drinking from a fire hose, guys. All right, let's go ahead and rotate. Come on, baby, rotate. Let's go. Let's go. There we go. All right, fantastic. We got positive rate, so we're gonna go gear up. And flaps up 1. All right, so now we're gonna go over here and I'm gonna go ahead and select this to go up approximately 1800 right there. So we'll go ahead and command this and vertical speed it LNAV, which means it'll actually turn and everything like that. And we'll do a speed set too. So now the plane is flying itself. Now to go back on, I'm sorry, VNAV, not LNAV. My bad, guys. LNAV doesn't quite work yet. All right, and speed set, or it automatically does it. Okay, so when you go into a VNAV, right? VNAV basically controls everything from your speed, your climb, everything. Okay, and what that is if you look here, this is telling you what the speed should be. So it should be 250, climb to 10,000. Okay, and I hear 240, 240. So all of this information is automatically going into the autopilot to be corrected. Now, the altitude, I don't believe goes in there. I don't believe the altitude goes in there. I could be mistaken, but I didn't notice it doing that last time. But the speed, you can tell, automatically goes to 250 there, and it's automatically climbing up to 10,000 feet, where we'll level off and we'll fly to Philadelphia. Let's make sure fasten seatbelt sign should be on. All right, so yeah, so that's pretty much just a simple, way to take off and activate that. Now I will do a more in-depth when I learn more. I'll go way more in-depth, because I noticed that there's a lot of tutorials out there, but they're all like totally just jumping into the deep end. And I really think that someone could really take it slow and explain every little bit, and I think I could do that. So I'm probably going to do that at some point, so be on the lookout for that, but just not right now. So let's go ahead and pop out here and look at ourselves flying over the beautiful land here in this Delta livery. X-Plane 11 is just a beautiful game. It really is. Or beautiful simulator, I should say. It really is a beautiful simulator. I love how they did like the roadways. Like it looks real. It doesn't look fake, and that's a big thing for me. I don't want to look down and see like a bunch of brown patchy stuff and a bunch of random buildings. I want to see a city, and that's what you see here. It's really cool. Really cool to see that. Just cruising along here. Let's go ahead and pop back in. And it's going to do this weird engine thing, which I wish they would fix that, but it is what it is. So we got about 21 nautical miles until Gulf Romeo Indy Bravo Lima. I don't know why I'm having such a hard problem talking this today, but that is what it is. Yeah, so it's going to go ahead and take us there. So, no big deal. It'll be about 3.5 minutes to get there. I love the cockpit too of the 737. It seems overly complex at first, but then once you learn everything, it's like everything's right there at your fingertips, and you can pretty much do everything you'll ever need to do, which is really awesome. I got a cup of coffee there. I wish I had coffee in the real world. Yep, it's already changing. You can tell it's turning left. And you can change the bank angle right here. But I have it set right now. I think it's at 20 degrees bank angle, which is, completely fine for what it's going to be doing. But you can see that my flight plan, you know, that I implemented here is being implemented here on the map. And you can tell, see that weird loopy thing? That's if I miss the approach. Okay, so I'm gonna be flying in this way, and I guess I could have gone into 9 or whatever, but anyway, flying in this way, and then I'm gonna loop around and come in. See if I can show you a little better. Yeah, so it's gonna take me around, and I'm gonna loop in the runway 22. Okay, that's what it's gonna do for me. Now it's a little weird, and you know, I really should probably do a transition, a certain thing, because it'll give me a longer approach, but it'll be all right. We'll wing it. We'll wing it, and we'll be okay. No pun intended there, guys. No pun intended. We'll wing it. Yeah, so we're cruising right now at our cruise altitude of 10,000 at a speed of 290 knots. And once we hit Gulf Rumi India Bravo Lima, it's going to go ahead and slow us down to 250 knots. And then we'll go ahead and start making our descent towards Delta India Romeo Mike Yankee, which won't be a long descent, so we'll just take it really nice and slow. Really short flight today. I didn't want to take up too much time. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump outside again. I love looking outside. It just looks beautiful. That's cool. Just checking out all the different cameras here. Let's ride along. I mean, just look at the lighting detail they put into that, the reflections on the plane and everything like that. I mean, that's pretty awesome. And this is just default aircraft. This isn't like some payware aircraft. This is default. It comes with X-Plane 11. You can even see through the engine. How cool is that? That's pretty legit. Look, you can see into the cockpit. That's awesome. All right, let's go ahead and change back to internal here so we can see what's happening. As you can see, we're already changing here, turning right to line up on the next, heading towards the next point on the map. All by the hand of the computer. I'm not touching anything, which is really nice for long flights and for jets, because jets, things happen so fast. If you're not careful, things can go disastrously wrong. All right. So we'll be hitting Delta India Romeo Mike Yankee in 24 nautical miles, at which point we will make a descent to 7,591 feet and be flying at 240 knots. Alright, we're going ahead. You can tell the plane is automatically reducing speed and to back down to 240 knots, I believe is what it's going to be reducing to match what the FMC is requesting. So it's prepping itself for what do you call it, descent into the area. So we're going to go ahead and let them know to make sure their seatbelts are on. As we're going to be descending into the area, and we'll go ahead and make our descent. And you can tell It's already, changing its vertical speed here to match what it needs to take us down. I think it is, at least. I'm not sure exactly what it's doing, but I'm just gonna let it go. Again, I just learned about the FMC yesterday, so should be dropping down. That's interesting. It's not taking the altitude. All right, here's what we're gonna do here. No, that's not good. This is weird. I'm not sure exactly why it's going crazy right now. So we're going to change the vertical speed here. Something more realistic. Something like 1800. I don't know why it freaked out like that, but I'm sure there's probably an error in my inputs that caused it to do that. Let's go ahead and pull on our speed brake here to help reduce the speed. As you can tell, it got going pretty fast in that descent. But as I talked about, let's go ahead and flip. Where is it? That's where it can turn faster. Sorry. As I talked about in that situation with the Cessna, where I pull the engine, cut the engine, in every emergency you always remain calm. And this wasn't an emergency. This was just something was not really working correctly. And so I just but I remained calm, and because we had lots of room. We were huge and we're high. It wasn't a big deal. If we were low, I would just disconnected the autopilot and manually flown it, because you don't want to risk crashing into the ground. But at this point, I wasn't really worried because we had plenty of room, and yeah, so that was why I was not freaking out or anything like that. All right, so we're coming down nice and easy into the area. We're about, I would say, probably about 10 minutes from landing right now. We're about 15.4 nautical miles from the next point, Gimme, and then we're going to be taking a right in a long arch, like a half circle basically, and then we'll get lined up for our final on runway 22 left, I believe is what I chose. 22 left. Yep, 22 left. All right. A little bit of turbulence right there. Okay. And we're getting close to our approach altitude. I'm going to go ahead and reduce the rate of descent here. It's not listening to me. Oh. It must have been doing it automatically, and I wasn't even paying attention. And we'll take that speed brake off, and we should be coming in here nice and easy. All right, just past 2,000 feet right now. So we're 2,000 feet off the ground right now. Coming in. We're going to be 1,500 feet up when we hit Gimme. And that's what they want us at, so that's where we're going to fly at. I think that's, to me, it seems a little bit tad low. I'd be more comfortable with 2,000 or 2,500, but I'm not the guys who created these points, and so we'll just do what it says. Alright, so it's going to start leveling out here. Maintaining 240 knots. Alright. Now what's going to give me, and we're going to take a right, I'm going to go ahead and reduce the speed from 240 to about 220, so we can go ahead and be in flap range. And then once we hit final, I'm going to completely basically cut the engines. I'm not going to cut the engines, but I'm going to reduce them to idle, because at idle, while I'm descending, I can maintain about 180 knots without trying at all, and that's a good approach speed. It'd be nice if I could have it a little bit lower, like 160, because that's the perfect speed. But I'll deal with it. I'll deal with it. And there's New York City off to the right there. Alright, it's going to start making its bank angle here. We're going to go ahead and reduce throttle to 220 knots. Airport is right off to the right here. You can't see it right now because we're turning that way. Alright, 220 knots. Coming around nicely now. Alright, let's go ahead. At this point, I'm really close to getting on final. So I'm going to go ahead and reduce again to, we're going to drop all the way down to 180 knots. Alright, so we're about to take over manual control here. In just a second. Because that's the airport right there. And we're going to be taking over. Alright. Going to go ahead and...
Caution.
Yep, disconnected the autopilot there. So we're now on manual flying. We're going to turn right here. A little high here, so we're going to pitch it down. I have the engine all the way down to idle right now. And, I forgot to put flaps in on the turn. That was a terrible mistake. Go ahead and engine, gear down as well.
1,000.
Yeah, I should be going around. If I was in real life, I'd be going around, but this isn't real life, so... Because I should have put flaps down during the original approach, but I didn't. Alright. And I am way off here. And you can tell I am not used to flying a jet here. At all. Way high. Way fast.
400.
Way high and fast.
300.
My goodness. Yeah, there's no way I'm getting down. Screw that. I'm going around.
200.
Screw that. I am going around. We'll manually fly the pattern. Yeah, the problem I had was basically shut up. Jeez. Was that I had I didn't put flaps down in the turn, which means I didn't slow down enough, and that caused some problems when obviously you saw as I came in. I was not able to get down because of how fast I was going. So lesson learned, guys, lesson learned. So what we're going to do here is we're going to make a right turn. And we're just going to make a big pattern here. Oh, no.
Caution.
I thought maybe it was just going to do the altitude there, but it wasn't. So, again, you can tell I am not at all... I'm trying to fly directors, just turn it all off. Used to flying this plane, so, you know, bear with me as I do this. Alright, so I should be about parallel in a second here. So go ahead and straighten out. Let's see if I can see off. I can't see it out the right window, which means it's back there. All right. So we'll go ahead and make a right again. I'm gonna reduce power. The goal is to be able to see out your right window, off your right wing. I am having the hardest problem talking this morning, guys. The hardest problem talking. All right. And the airport should be right there. Okay, that's the airport. So, be flying straight here for a little while. Then I'm going to be making a right. Manually flying it right now. I'll be manually flying it all the way in today. I gotta figure out exactly, you know, I'm still getting used to using the FMC, and you can tell. You can tell. But you have to learn. You have to learn somehow, and this is how I'm learning. And I'm showing you guys, you know, I don't start out great on all the games I play. You know, it takes time for me to learn things like American Truck Simulator, like X-Plane, like LSPDFR. You know, it takes time for me to learn to play these games, you know, correctly, and I'm showing you what it's like, you know, to try to learn. So don't get discouraged if you're, you know, trying out X-Plane, you're trying to learn how to fly, or you're playing American Truck Sim, you're trying to learn how to back up that dadgum trailer, you know. Don't get discouraged. Keep trying at it, because eventually you'll get it. And I know that because I've done these kind of learning where games you have to learn skills in order to actually play them. So don't get discouraged, and you'll get there. Trust me, you'll get there. We all will get there. And yeah, some people may be better than you. Some people may be worse than you. But you have to remember that they all had to learn, you know, and maybe they spent more time learning. Maybe they didn't, you know, maybe they have a natural ability. And but don't get discouraged because of that. You know, you can practice hard, and you can practice a lot, and you can become pretty good at most things, you know. So don't get discouraged if you're not, you know, the best player out there, or you're not the best flyer out there, or best trucker, you know. Don't get discouraged, man. Don't get discouraged. All right, so it's off here on the right here. We can't see it now because we're making a turn. But this is about how it should be on the approach. You know, about 1500 up. Oh, I'm a little lower than 1500. But the speed there, that's what's important. All right, so that's the airport right there. So we're gonna go ahead and let's increase just a tad there, so we're not falling out of the sky. And then right over this pond looking thing, or golf course it may be, I'm gonna be making a right turn. Again, to line myself up with 2-2 left. So we're going to make a turn here. And we'll just do a 20-degree turn here. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. And the airport should be, there it is right there. We're a little off the runway heading, but that's about what we came in the first time, so take 2, right? All right, go ahead and increase there, throttle, we'll go flaps 2. Decrease throttle a little bit, gear down. And we'll go reduce the throttle to idle. And flaps full. All right. 500. All right, we'll pull up just a tad here to slower descent. And loosen speed. We're at 170 knots. All right, coming in nice and easy now. All right, coming in nice and slow.
30, 20, 10.
And we've hit. And bring our nose down. We'll hit our reversers on, if it'll let me. It's not letting me hit the reversers. All right, so we'll just apply brake then. It's weird that wasn't letting me hit reversers. There we go. There we go. All right. And forward again. And we'll speed brake off there. And there we are. We're down. We are down. Fantastic. And we'll hold short right here and wait for clearance to park. But yeah, so that is pull our parking brake. That's how you land right there, I guess. Let's go ahead and change the external circle and we'll replay that just to see what it looked like. Probably horrendous. Probably. All right. Here's a good place to start. All right, so we're coming in here. I'm probably a tad low at this point, but that's okay. It worked out in the end. Now, what I forgot was that I had the speed brakes on the entire time. I shouldn't have had that on until my final, because you don't want to fly around with those on. You could break them or something like that. But flying in nice and easy here. I apply full flaps now, which is just a minor decrease in the flaps there. And then also my speed brakes, once you hit a certain level, they're allowed to deploy more in speed, so they'll deploy more in just a second here. Right here. All right, so now we're coming in nice and easy. And the flaps are full. And Perfect. And I bring that nose down in just a second here, letting it glide down. Don't want it to slam down. And I tried to find the reversers, but it wasn't letting me do the reversers for some reason, so I applied the brakes instead. And then I'm allowed to use the reversers. There they are. And that really slows you down. As you can tell, as I almost dead stopped right there. And I just closed a taxi off the runway. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this episode. I appreciate you guys watching, and you know, takeaway from this is don't be discouraged when you mess up, because you're going to mess up, as you could tell. I'm going to have a lot to learn, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope to see you guys next time on another X-Plane. So thanks for watching.